Hi, JPO here again. Time for another honing vlog. So I got this Dovo 5.8 Prima Clang in the mail today with small cuticle. So this, I have enough of these razors, but again, I got this more or less unused razor for and cuticle for a total of $60 US. So that's more or less a giveaway price. So it's hard to resist. I also have one identical Prima Clang 5.8 before, and yeah, I'm slowly gathering or putting together a 7-day set of these 5.8 razors, because they're generally popping up on the on the marketplace as used razors that are more or less new. So this, to me, this seems like your standard Lagrease cuticle. It's fairly hard, so and not that big, but it's for to be used as a finishing stone. It's yeah, if you don't want to invest in a large stone, this might be an option. So by inspecting the blade, I can see there's a chip in the toe of the razor and close to the heel, and it's probably been bumped into something. I'm not sure what's happened to it, but there's a relatively large chip in the toe. But unfortunately, that is at the end of the toe, so it's yeah, I can just round off the tip a little more, and the heel needs to be honed out. There's the chip in the heel, so and the scales are loose. And it's not centering, the blade is not centering in the middle of the scales, so I have to pin it and force the pivot pin in one direction to get it aligned again. So this is done just by tapping in one direction to slightly skew the blade. And it really doesn't take much force to mushroom this a little and get it tighter. And I really I think these smaller Dovo razors are probably my favorite Dovo razors. I'm not particularly fond of the 6/8s, and so these 5/8s are ground really nice, and there's usually not too much warping issues. At least now I have 6 of these in different scales and types. So, and every single one had more or less no issues with geometry. So, despite what people are saying about these, I think it's more user expectations that are unrealistic. Yeah, then this doesn't seem to have a frown, so the blade is more or less straight, and there's absolutely more or less no hone wear on the spine. So I think the owner of this just try to hone it on this cortical and did some stropping. Probably hit something on the strop, and probably gave up when he saw the chips and how the edge turned out. So $60 for a more or less unused razor and a leather pouch and a cortical. So if you can get hold of something like this, it's a really cheap option to try this out. Yeah, and I'm removing the chip at the toe just by creating a little more rounding. These older Dovos, they have a more square profile at the tip. These newer Dovos they are producing now has a really a more rounded tip. So this now is more or less more similar to the newer razor that's on the market from Dovo. Yeah, and there's not that much unevenness at the spine. It's flat enough. Yeah, this is the chip at the heel. It's more or less covers the most of the existing bevel, so this will be this will need to be cut in a completely new bevel. So I'm starting with the Chapman Glass HR1K. Yeah, and as you can see, it's even cutting in a new bevel and removing a chip that goes from the bevel, start of the bevel, all the way to the bevel shoulder. That doesn't take that much time with these fast synthetic stones. So you just need to torque the edge into the stone, and then you don't grind off too much of the spine. Because the spine also needs to be aligned with the new edge. So it's if you call it a hone guide, then it's not that useful if the hone guide is not matching the bevel flats you create. Yeah, so there's nothing special about this. This was really didn't take that much time to correct, because the bevel area on this, the bevel is really slim. It's almost like a hairline bevel. So this is also these Prima Clang razors are ground really thin, so this probably falls in the extra hollow category. Yeah, so now this was all it took to re-establish the bevel again, even if I jointed the edge carefully. in my opinion, when you torque into the stone like this, with these fast stones, you can remove material quite rapidly. So this 1K stone is that's probably not my favorite stone to use, but for this type of work, it's makes the process quite fast. Yeah, and from the factory there's the grind on the wheel they use stops a distance from the tang, so you really need to keep this part of the razor off the stone, or else if you don't, then you lift the heel and really it's a domino effect. You start to create more wear at the toe, and you're really struggling to get a good bevel. Yeah, again, there's it's more or less a straight line, but I'm not creating a smile, but I'm honing to a smile that usually you end up more or less with a straight edge. So that was the bevel, repair and bevel set, and now it's we're just refining that bevel on the same stone by using less pressure. And, yeah, so that's all it takes to do this. Just using a 15x loop to just to see if the chip is gone. So we really don't need to go down to a 400 grit or a diamond plate to remove these chips in these hollow ground razors. If this had been a larger wedge or something, a Wade & Butcher, you would probably need to spend 3 or 4 times the amount of time, but these are tiny, so it doesn't take much. Yeah, it's this is the only test I do to check for sharpness at this level. Yeah, so now I'm going to use my small Les Latnus that is shaped convex to cut in a new bevel again. So now it's going from flat to slightly concave. So this also shows how little effort it takes just to cut in a new concave bevel just from using this small stone. It's a fast stone, so I really don't need that much time on it. So this is the simplest way I have found to use these corticals, is to use a convex fast stone to cut in the bevel, and use a finer hard cortical with oil to finish the very apex and create a good shaving edge. This is more or less the same I've done in multiple videos already, so it's yeah. So as you can see, this stone cuts really fast, but it's I don't like to use it as a finishing stone because it's quite coarse. So this could also be if I didn't have the chipping issue with the razor, I could have skipped the first step with the synthetic. This I'm more or less doing 2 bevel sets now. Yeah, working the blade in sections and trying to focus especially on the heel part that has a tendency to get less attention. So yeah. So these Dovol 5/8 razors are probably not something I would recommend a new razor user to begin with. I would probably start with a 6/8 instead. So these extra hollow small blades are fun to shave with, but I think they do require a little more experienced hands. They're more sensitive to the angles you use when shaving, and yeah, it's much easier to shave with a slightly heavier, bigger blade. So might be one reason why these are popping up regularly on the used marketplaces. So, but they are good razors. Most of what you need to see, you can see just by inspecting the edge with the naked eye. I have good lighting down here in the basement, so I can just rotate it and reflect the light that comes from the spots, light spots on above. Yeah, this was fairly flat too, slightly convex, probably from how I don't think the owner did any flattening or anything with this. So this is usually how they come from Ardennes, with a slight high spot in the middle, but I need to have this flat. And this can also be a little, in my opinion, sensitive to how you prepare the surface, especially when you're going to use it just as a pure finishing stone without slurry. So this is how I would prepare the surface for this finishing part. one more use for a gold dollar. So just generating some slurry and working the surface to prepare it for the finishing part on the other razor. As you can see, it's this soft steel is cuts quite easily too. So so now I'm going to use it with oil as a pure finishing stone. This is sperm whale oil, but you can use any type of oil. So now the more or less just the tip of the edge that it is in contact with the stone, so that ensures that you're making contact on a smaller surface area on the bevel, and makes this relatively slow stone used with oil more efficient. So even now it's generating a little swarf. So I'm going to use a baby wipe cloth, or a baby wipe that's doesn't lint, to wipe off the oil, to just to see when it's stops generating black swarf. Then it's you get an indication that it's starting to get ready. Of course, you also get the feedback from the stone, but that is just one way to make sure that you are doing enough work. Nothing special here. It's just rolling X strokes and working the blade in sections. Second application of oil. In this case I'm doing it 3 times, but I would probably be enough just to do it twice, or might even be a little overkill to do it like this, but so if you didn't have the convex stone, you can use a layer of tape and create a micro bevel, or you can just taper down the pressure from the first stone. that basically does more or less the same, but this makes it a lot more repeatable from my experience. Yeah, the only downside with these small stones is that I at least need to hone in hand. It's honing on small stones like this on the bench is a lot more challenging, at least for me. Yeah, I could probably skip this last step. Yeah, I'm also trying out this new stone, so it's nice to try to push the edge as much as possible to see how much I can squeeze out. So you really don't need these unicorn corticals to get a good edge. You just have to have realistic expectations of what these are best suited for. And in my opinion, these are really nice to be used as pure finishing stones. And these fast corticals from more exotic veins are can probably do everything, but these also work quite well. Can be a little more challenging to do a full one stone hone, but I use my corticals in a progression, and I usually more often than not use 2 stones. Yeah, and I'd also do a lot more stropping after a cortical than after a synthetic stone. If you pay attention, you can feel how the feedback changes. So it goes from slightly slippery to you get a little more suction into the strop. So slightly slippery is a really scientific term, so just look it up. Yeah, there's nothing special about my stropping technique. I think it's I'm rolling my stroke and working the blade in section almost like a reverse honing. not every strop gives the same feedback, so this is buffalo skin or buffalo hide strop. It's like watching paint dry. It's just repeating the same. Yeah, and I don't count strokes. This is I go until I feel a change on the strop, and yeah, you just have to believe me. There, you can really feel a change in the feedback with these cortical edges. Yeah, and I already shaved with this edge, and this was a really good edge. So I'm not going to change this. This is going to be going to my rotation. So from the microscope images, yeah, these cortical edges are not doesn't win any awards for best look, but just from the scope image, I can see it's the edges. The actual apex is yeah, quite good for a cortical edge. It's seems like there is some oil residue maybe on the blade because the apex pops out a little more. So, but the shave was good. It was sharp and really smooth. So this was a successful hone. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching.